whoa. Calm down. We're in church. I'm just playing. Everybody please stand up. Give like 3 high fives out. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3. Get them out. Yeah, woo! There we go. All right, that should be enough time. If not, you are dilly-dallying. Sit on down. Thank you so much. Let's get the energy going. I believe that God has something for every single one of you, and I hope you take it. All right, back in the 8th grade, Logan did not have a girlfriend. Logan was single. No, don't cheer at that. Actually, that's okay. Yeah, cheer for that. Thank you. Makes me feel great. No, but there was this girl, all right? There was this girl. Her name was Abby Stroud. She was so pretty. She sang in the choir. She was like smart, and she was popular. But the thing about Abby Stroud is she didn't date only the popular kids. See, she would date other people too. So she was dating this guy all through first semester of 8th grade, and then they broke up over the weekend. Actually, at a church event, ironically. But don't bring your relationships into church, y'all. You know who you are. I'm not making eye contact. Okay, but she's broken up, and as me, I'm thinking, this is my opportunity. Yo, Logan's about to come in. Recess comes around Monday. Recess isn't like a jungle gym, no kickball. It's a big dirt field. Maybe somebody would bring a Frisbee or football that would get thrown over a fence or on a roof somewhere. No, I walk up to her, and I said, hey, Abby, you want to be my girlfriend? Yeah, she goes, hey, Logan, you're really nice and funny. You have too much hair, and I enjoy our friendship. So let's stay friends. So I don't have that much stake in the game. I'm like, okay, I guarded my heart. I go home. No, not home, back to my class. I'm not hurt. I come to my ragtag group of friends. See, my friend group at the time was very diverse. It was me, I played the tuba, my friend who played the saxophone, this guy named Dan, he was a swimmer, Jackson Armstrong, who was a Mormon and played lacrosse, Zach Taub, who was new in town, and then Austin, who was popular. We were all brought together from 6th to 8th grade through remedial math. There we go. No, but seriously, I got there, I'm like, hey guys, I tried to ask out Abby Stroud, and she said no. And they said, Logan, you messed up. She needs time to process her breakup. So wait till tomorrow. So I'm like, okay, that's what I'll do. I'll wait. So I go home, go to bed, get up the next day, go to school, go to recess, and I'm like, hey, Abby, you gonna be my girlfriend? She said, Logan, like I said yesterday, we're good friends, and you're funny, but I think we should stay friends. And I'm like, all right, that one hurt a little. I trusted my friends. They let me down. 8th graders let me down. Big surprise. Go back to class. I'm like, hey, guys, it didn't work. And they said, okay, maybe she's just sensitive. Maybe she needs another day to process this breakup. So I'm like, okay. I go home, go to bed, get up the next day, go to recess. I'm like, hey, Abby, you want to be my girlfriend? And she goes, like I said the other 2 days, no, we're friends, and I enjoy that. So I'm like, all right. Go to class, and they go, okay, maybe she's taking this breakup hard. Let's wait a day. Let's not do it Thursday. So Thursday, actually, I go home, get up, bring my Frisbee, play Frisbee, gets over the fence, go home again. Friday comes around. This isn't any normal Friday. This is the night of the talent show, and she's singing in the talent show, and it's also the next weekend after this is the 8th grade dance. So recess comes around, and I'm like, hey, Abby, you my girlfriend? She goes, no, I don't want to be your girlfriend. I go home, go to the talent show with my ragtag group of friends, and she's playing her guitar and singing and stuff with her other friend, and Mitchell Davies, who's actually her ex-boyfriend from the 6 months prior, runs up to the front of the stage holding a sign that had something cheesy on it saying, will you go to the dance with me? And Abby does something that broke my little heart. She doesn't say, oh, yes, or gives him a hug or anything. She does a simple thumbs up. And I'm like, okay, all right. But let's not focus on that part because Logan got rejected many times. What I want to focus on is the confidence that my friends gave me. Going into that, I was going to be done after the first time, even if it didn't work out. But they said, no, Logan, go. And I had confidence because I had people behind me pushing me. I had Jackson and Dan and Nick and Zach and Austin pushing me towards what they thought was the best for me. And let me make everything clear from the get-go. Today, I'm talking about being bold together. The title that I gave it, that's not on the screen, is Friends, spelled with a Z, and Fire. I thought that was funny. Y'all didn't laugh. It's cool. It's fine. No, but seriously, confidence comes from a group. And this idea we have in our society of safety and numbers is seen in nature with like wolf packs and gazelles running and packs. So if predators come, it's more safe and it's not just them. We also see this in our movies. Has anyone seen a buddy cop movie? Will Ferrell, Mark Wahlberg taking down the bad guys? Buddy cops. We see that group mentality. We also see this in social issues. When something bad happens, you'll see a city react to it in special ways. Like we went to the Emmanuel movie premiere, and we saw Charleston coming together and holding hands across a bridge because it's safer that way. It's not someone standing out, but being bold together. And if you're with me, if you've got your Bible, raise them in the air. I think there's like 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't count, Adam. He had his phone up. We'll be in Daniel chapter 3. If you're with me, get there. When you're there, say there. Oh, there we go. How did you even do that? Oh, it is? That's fine. Y'all there? We there? If not, we're rolling. All right, so I'll paraphrase this a little bit. See, this is what happened. King Nebuchadnezzar is the king of Babylon. And like we talked about last week, they took over Jerusalem, took some of the best, and brought them over to Babylon. And we see these 3 guys. Daniel isn't here. It's only Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. That's his 3 buddies, and that's who we'll be seeing today. But King Nebuchadnezzar, I can't say that. If I mess that up, please understand. Dyslexia, stutter, it's just a mess. But he makes this giant statue of a gold thing, and he said, when all the instruments play, I want everybody in my kingdom to bow down and worship my statue because I'm the king and my gods are more powerful than yours. So he tells the instruments to play, and everybody bows down, and it's over. But then some guy walks up. It says with malicious intent, which I think is funny. So this guy's a narc. He's a snitch. He walks up to King Nebuchadnezzar, and he's like, hey, these 3 Israelite guys aren't bowing down. So King Nebuchadnezzar is mad. And he's like, okay, let's work this out. So he goes, finds him, and he's like, okay, I'm going to do it one more time, and I'll give you one more chance, and if you don't do it, I'm throwing you into a furnace. Before he even tells anybody to do anything, this is their response. And if you'll read with me, I will be in verse 16 through verse 18. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If this is so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up. This is what they say to the king of the empire that is over their dominion right now. I'm going to read it one more time, okay? One more time. Just look with me, see what I emphasize. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If this be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that we have set up. You see confidence because we're together. You see confidence in these 3 young men because they are unified under one thing, and that's our God that we serve. So this leads me to my first point. Boldness grows from togetherness. You will be tested in your school. I know in sociology I was tested. It's a very social focused class, and the teacher of the class, I'm not going to say his name, some of you might know him. He found out I was a Christian who was studying to be a pastor my senior year, and he targeted me, not in like a mean way, but in more like friendly banter way. But throughout that entire class, it was me defending my faith to the entire sociology class because he saw me as a threat. So people will come after you whether you realize it or not. Whether it happens now in your neighborhoods, in your schools, in your homes, whether it happens in college or after college in your jobs, you will be tested somehow in your faith, standing bold for who we serve. This is something that will not see you. Like, you'll see it as you move through your life if you don't see it now, but y'all might see it right now. So it's important. It's easier to say we than it is to say I, because we believe in the God we serve. We believe in what Jesus came and what he did. So if you're saying, I stand up for my faith, that's empowering. But if you have a group behind you, you have confidence. And I'm saying today, we need friends as we enter the fire. So as you'll see, as we track through this entire sermon, we need togetherness as we face the other half of the world. We need togetherness as we focus on what comes next. So as we continue, we'll be in verse 19. Then Nebuchadnezzar, filled with fury, and the expression of his face was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He ordered the furnace heated 7 times more than it is usually heated, and ordered some of the mighty men of his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their cloaks, their tunics, their hats, and their other garments, and they were thrown into the burning fiery furnace. Because the king ordered was so urgent, the furnace overheated. The flames of the fire killed those men who took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell bound into the furnace. So we see that they tied up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego for standing out bold in their faith, and together they fell into the furnace. Let's continue, verse 24. Then King Nebuchadnezzar was astonished and rose up in haste. He declared to his counselors, "Did we not cast these men bound into the fire?" They answered and said to the king, "True, O king." He answered and said, "But I see 4 men unbound walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt, and the appearance of the 4th is like the Son of God's." Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the door of the burning fiery furnace, and he declared, "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out and come here." Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out of the fire, and the satraps, the prefects, the governors, and the king's counselors gathered together and saw that the fire had not any power over the body of those men. The hair on their heads were not singed, their cloaks were not harmed, and no spell of the fire had come up. Nebuchadnezzar answered and said, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants who trusted him and set aside the king's command and yielded up their bodies rather than serve and worship any god except their own. Therefore I make a decree. Any people, nation, or language that speaks anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be torn limb for limb, and their houses laid to ruins, for there is no other God who is able to rescue you in this way." Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. That's the God we worship. The God that can take 3 kids, 3 men who just came over from Jerusalem, was raised up in the army and thrown into fire and deliver them out through an angel. That's the God that we worship. If your faith is in nothing else, put it in the God that can take you out of the furnace. And this leads me to my second point. Strive for togetherness in the furnace. There's no mention of Shadrach, Meshach, or Abednego struggling. There's no mention of them running or fleeing or trying to escape. We see them stand bold to the God. And in the last passage, when they were speaking, and it says, "But if not," they said that God will help me out. But if not, this is what we stand for. So they were ready to stand against the king, and if they killed Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, so be it, because my God will be worshipped. Death is their gain, because they'll see God in heaven together. And it's easier to do this. It's more impressive to do this together, because they were strong and powerful together. In their togetherness, they stood against the king. Let's bring it down a little. That was intense. I went to Charlotte not too long ago with some friends, and I hate Charlotte sports. Where's Tommy? Tommy, you in the room? Oh, you're right there. Hey, buddy. Panthers, Super Bowl participants. How's that trophy cabinet looking, buddy? Oh, he's sitting in silence. Charlotte Hornets, no NBA Finals appearances. I hate Charlotte sports, y'all. I'm a Knicks fan. It's no better. But, so me and my 3 friends went up to Charlotte to see a Hornets game. They were playing the Raptors. And the the whole time I'm a Kawhi Leonard fan. I'm a Spicy P fan. I like Cal Lowry. I'm a Marc Gasol fan. So me and my buddy Chance went up there and we're like, yo, the two people we were with, they're diehard Hornets fans. Let's clap every time the Raptors score. So we were like way up there, surrounded by Hornets fans. We're sitting down. Kawhi Leonard would do some like robotic move and then make it, and we'd both stand up. That's my Raptors in Charlotte. And people were like, sit down, get out. And I wasn't nervous because I wasn't alone. If it was just me, they would have tossed me out. They would have said, go back to the hotel. We don't want you at this game. But I stood firm with my buddy because we were just having fun, making fun of Hornets, making fun of them who don't have a trophy in their cabinet. That might be mean, but I stand by what I did. But what I want to emphasize is that I found my person who aligned with what I believed, and we stood firm even when they were saying sit down. We stood firm even when they said go home. In Iraq, we see ISIS invading these Christian communities. In the last 2 decades, with the ISIS coming into these Christian communities in Iraq, we see 80% of these Christian communities decreasing. They used to have a bunch, but since they've taken over in the last decades, the population has dropped 80%, and they're still being fleed out. But we see these communities standing firm. They'll write the symbol, it's a U with a dot over it. That means Nazarene in their language, and this is identifying them as Christians, and these Christians, Iraq, won't move. They'll take the punishment because they're standing for what they believe. They stand firm together in these communities because they have something bigger than them that they stand in, and that's the cross. That's what we should be focusing on. Standing firm together. Standing firm together. And it's hard. It's hard nowadays because it's not people coming to kill you. It's people just trying to antagonize you and say you're wrong and saying this isn't how the universe was created. God isn't real. We say being Christian isn't cool. You can't listen to this music. You can't do this. But in reality, why does that matter if we stand firm together saying, my God died on a cross for me, and I don't care what you say? Because I know my faith is on the blood that was shed on the cross. And this leads me to my third point, and this is very practical, because everything is very lofty that I just said, but I want to bring it down to you in your day-to-day lives. It's find your people. What does that mean? We hear about DNA groups, and we hear about community and journey a lot. And if you've talked to Miss D or Justin, you hear about this sandwich we see. We see that you should be having someone over you, with you, and below you. Let's break that down. So above you means you need someone that you're meeting with daily or weekly or however you meet, just pouring into you, just developing you, getting ready for you to be deployed. Because in reality, y'all, you're the next generation. You're the next leaders. You're the next Clays. You're the next Will Brownings. You're the next Justins. You're the next doctors, the architects. You're the next everything. And if you start to realize that you're the next person, that you need to be developed in a godly man, a godly woman. So you need someone above you pouring into you. That's the top part of the sandwich. Then the middle, like jelly and peanut butter of the sandwich, that's someone with you. That's the people you're sitting next to. That's the people that you worship with daily, that you're doing life together. In your schools, at home, in church. This is the people that you're doing God's work with. And then the person below you, whether that be an unbeliever, whether that be someone who's not as mature in their faith that you're pouring into. Because I feel like in my walk alone, there was a large bit of time saying, I don't know anything, so I'm not going to invest in the next generation because I'm not there yet. I'm not ready. But in reality, if you know enough to get saved and profess your faith, you know enough to develop the next person. You know enough to tell a person, this is how I got saved, look how it lines up with your life, and make that happen. And it's scary, y'all. It's scary. Because how I got saved, I feel like could never affect someone else, and that's not God, that's the devil. Because I feel like if you know enough to get saved, you can save the next generation. And I feel like we need to find our people, find your top, middle, and bottom person, and just start going. Just start leaving, because you're the next generation, and you need to start moving and moving and moving. And once you get to college, once you get out of college, you'll be in a good place with God, and that should be the purpose. That should be the purpose. It shouldn't be how many followers we can get. It shouldn't be how far can I come, how much Bible do I know. It should always be how well can I glorify my God. How much more can I lay down my life for God? That should be the focus, not do I have all these systems set up. It should be how well am I worshiping God. And I was reading a book, and he said, salvation and forgiveness is focused on so much in the American church. From that profession of faith, you are forgiven. You are forgiven, and you continue your life. See, after you get forgiven, you enter into this process called sanctification. That's a big word. But in reality, all that means is becoming more like Jesus. Becoming more like you climbing that mountain, becoming more like God our Savior. Becoming more holy, becoming more like Him. That's all that means. After you get forgiven and get saved, you start becoming more and more like Jesus. And you can keep on sinning, and Jesus will keep on forgiving you. But Jesus can keep on forgiving you, but He'd much rather be blessing you. And let me break that down. Blessing does not mean money. Blessing does not mean a good wife, a good life. It does not mean a good career. It does not mean that you'll be happy. It does not mean any of that. That means He'll be giving you more opportunities to glorify God. More opportunities to explore your calling and go after God. So let's get back on this idea of boldness. How are we going to continue that process of sanctification, following the spiritual disciplines? That's a big idea. Let's focus on one: community, discipleship. Because together, we grow more like Jesus. See, boldness doesn't start when you're being persecuted. Boldness doesn't start when the enemy's at your door. Boldness doesn't start in your schools or in your jobs or in your families. Boldness does not start there. Boldness starts right here. Boldness starts when you find those people in your life and you get developed. Boldness starts when you're worshiping people together. Boldness starts when you have a Bible study with people. Boldness starts now, so you're being developed for when they come. Boldness happens right here. And the band can come back up. Boldness starts right here, in your seats right now. The people that you sit around, they develop you so you can become more like Jesus, so you're ready for those next steps, so you're ready for when the enemy does come. Boldness happens right here, y'all. And I pray this is the first step you need to take. Find those people. Find the people in your life that want to develop you. Find the people that you can be developing. That's what I'll leave you with. Your mission for this next week is just find your people. Find your people. Reach out to your small group leaders. Reach out to your fellow pews. Find your people.